In today's episode, though it is up to you to experiment by believing that you live in the end of your wish fulfilled, I invite you to become curious and test the law. Do you have a desire that you wish to manifest, but you don't know what that feeling will be like because you haven't experienced it before? Hi and welcome. My name is Fazila Bijo, and this is the Inner Work Mastery channel where I help you to learn, explore, and practice the teachings of reality creation and manifestation and beyond. Once you learn what reality creation and manifestation is about, you will inevitably step into the awakening of the I Am presence within. So join me on this channel each week as I bring you new videos that will help you to uplevel and integrate these teachings into your life. I invite you to become curious and test the law. Everything in this world was once imagined. As Neville says, today's imaginal drama becomes tomorrow's fact, which means that when you think it and you believe it, you create it. In this week, I want to remind you that you don't have to spend years searching and experimenting for how and what works to change your future. It's all available, and you're going to find that in these teachings. Others have done it, and it's proven how you can do it for yourself as well. Though it is up to you to experiment by believing that you live in the state of your desire, that you live in the end of your wish fulfilled. You're going to see that you don't have to believe in these teachings for them to work. However, you have to persist and be consistent in how you practice and apply the law. And that's all it takes. Neville says, become curious and test the law. If you apply these 3 steps consistently, like E.O.L Jr does in this case study, be prepared to be amazed by what you create. Just as an aside, I spent close to 3 days in terms of putting together and editing this case study. And I trust and I imagine that you're going to like the results. Please let me know if this gets a thumbs up. In this case study, you're going to see E.O.L Jr says he was a mildly successful dance instructor. He desired success. After 5 years of mediocre results, he wanted something different. He attends one of Neville's lectures and he reads out of this world. Even though he was unconvinced, he decides to test the law. As he tests the law, you will see that he is offered a partnership in a short frame of time. A year later, he's still feeling stuck and he had forgotten about the teachings. And so he wants to replicate his success and he decides to test the law again. Three weeks later, a friend called me from Reno, Nevada. He had the Murray studio there and said it was too much for him to cope with alone. He offered me a partnership, and I was delighted. So delighted, in fact, that I hastened to Reno on borrowed money and promptly forgot all about you and your story of imagination. My partner and I worked hard and were very successful. But after a year, I was still not satisfied. I wanted more. I began thinking of ways and means to get another studio. All my efforts failed. One night, as I retired, I was restless and decided to read. As I looked through my collection of books, I noticed your slender volume, Out of This World. I thought of the silly nonsense I had gone through 1 year ago before getting my own studio. Getting my own studio. The words in my mind electrified me. I reread the book that night, and later, in my imagination, I heard my superior praise the good job we had done in Reno and suggested we acquire a second studio, as he had a second location ready for us if we desired to expand. I reenacted this imaginal scene nightly without fail. 3 weeks from the first night of my imaginal drama, it materialized, almost word for word. My partner accepted the new studio in Bakersfield, and I had the Reno studio alone. Now I was convinced of the truth of your teaching, and never again will I forget. Now I wanted to share this wonderful knowledge of imaginal power with my staff. I tried to tell them of the marvels they could accomplish, but I was unable to reach many. Although one fantastic incident resulted from my efforts to tell this story. A young teacher told me he believed my story, but said it would probably have happened anyway in time. He insisted the entire theory was nonsense, but stated that if I could tell him something of an incredible nature that would actually happen and which he could witness, then he would believe. I accepted his challenge and conceived a truly fantastic test. The Reno studio is the most insignificant of the entire Murray system because of the small population count in the city itself. There are over 300 Murray studios in the country with much larger populations, therefore providing greater possibilities to draw from. So my test was this. I told the teacher that within the next 3 months, at the time of a national dance convention, the little Reno studio would be the foremost topic of conversation at that convention. He calmly stated this was quite impossible. That night, before I retired, I felt myself standing before a tremendous audience. I was speaking on creative imagining. and felt the nervousness of being before such a vast audience, but I also felt the wonderful sensation of audience acceptance. I heard the roar of applause as I left the stage. I saw Mr. Murray himself come forward and shake my hand. I reenacted this entire drama night after night. It began to take on the tones of reality, and I knew I had done it again. My imaginal drama materialized down to the last detail. My little Reno studio was the talk of the convention, and I did appear on that stage, just as I had done in my imagination. But even after this unbelievable but actual happening, the young teacher who threw me the challenge remained unconvinced. He said it had all happened too naturally, and he was sure it would have happened anyway. I did not mind his attitude, because his challenge had given me another opportunity to prove, at least to myself, that imagining does create reality. From that time on, I continued with my ambition to own the largest Arthur Murray dance studio in the world. Night after night, in my imagination, I heard myself accepting a studio franchise for a great city. Within 3 weeks, Mr. Murray called me and offered a studio in a city of 1.5 million people. It is now my goal to make my studio the greatest and biggest in the entire system. And of course, I know it will be done through my imagination. E.O.L Jr. This summarizes the 3 steps very quickly. Step 1, you must definitely know what you want. You must have a burning desire, one that you completely believe is yours. When you have that desire, you must know what that imaginal act is that says your desire is complete and it's fulfilled. In the case study, you would have seen E.O.L Jr. sees in his imaginal act that Arthur Murray congratulates him. And then you must take your imaginal scene into SATs. Now, SATs must be practiced consistently every night before you go to sleep, in the morning, as you come out of that drowsy state, and drop into SATs for 2 minutes at lunchtime. You must bring your imaginal act into SATs. So are you ready to walk right into your dream life? Drop your comments below. What insights did you get? What teachings did you receive out of this week's video? That was the case study for the dance studio. I trust that you received good insights into how you can live from the end in terms of your desires. Please watch both this video and the one from last week so that you will understand them together in context, but also be able to get the benefit of the teachings that I provided in the last video. And in this week, you can see the real life case study around how you can live from the end. Please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so that you get updated in videos that I bring out on a regular basis, where each video will help to build on your knowledge and your practice in terms of reality creation, manifestation, and awakening. My name is Fazila Bijo, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.